Go. Beis Amid Aleph, Gemara Succah. Gemara Succah, Beis Amid Aleph. We just finished the three sources for the height of a sukkah. Now, aside from the fact that it's critically important to remember the Gemara, this is one of the Gemaras, maybe I should have warned us yesterday, or maybe I didn't look further so I forgot, that the Gemara builds. The Gemara builds, so it's very important that we remember the three reasons why the sukkah must be 20 amos or less. The three reasons. So let's just chazer outside, and then we're going to go full force. Rabbah said, you have to know you're in a sukkah, and you don't know when it's above 20. L'man yedu darasechem. Rav Zera said, if it's above 20, you're not in the shade of the schach, you're in the shade of the wall. All right, can I get a cup, please? Shkoich. And Rava said, number 3, that you have to be b'sukkah stage of shivas yamim, which by definition, God bless you, by definition must be a diras arai, and more than 20 is a diras keva. Says the Gemara, with that understanding, Amar le'abayo. 8 lines from the bottom. Oh, Shalom Raveli. 8 lines from the bottom. Yeah, we forgot food. I apologize. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakol niyeh v'deroi. I guess the people had a shikol ruach hakodesh and they knew that I forgot the food. I see that the Olam doesn't have much faith. Okay, no, it happened. Amar le'abayo. No such thing. Listen, if someone's at Shiners and you see, you know what I'm saying, so they did a little extra this. Listen, it happens. Amar le'abayo el me'ato. So Abaye just said that under 20 is arai, above 20 is keva. So Amar le'abayo, Abaye asks, Rava said that. So Abaye asked to Rava, el me'ato, also mechitza shal barzel. You make a sukkah out of iron, v'sikech al gabon, and you put schach on top of it. Hachanami, here also, deloi have a sukkah. If the whole reason why a sukkah can't be above 20 is why? Is because when it's above 20, it's keva, it's permanent. So asks Abaye, so if you make a permanent dwelling, for example, you in your dining room, you make a fancy skylight. It's a house. It is keva. There's nothing more keva than that. Asks Abaye, are you going to tell me that's not a good sukkah? Amar lei. So what's the answer? Without looking inside, new svara, logic. No one? Anyone? A little better. I think you're saying it. You don't have to turn off your camera, Rabbi Schuster. I'm not throwing you out. Let's see. I think everyone's thinking. Let's go one drop deeper. Amar lei, hachi kamin. This is what I mean to say. Ad chaf ama, until 20, di adam aisa di rasai di rasarai. Since until 20, that is by its nature, that's how you would make a temporary structure. When you make it permanent, nami nafik, you're still yoitze. But again, the first half is hard. You see it better from the contrast. This half. When it's more than 20, it has to be keva when it's more than 20. Therefore, you're not yoitze. Let's explain. Something bigger than 20 is keva. Meaning, in order to make a structure 35 feet tall, it has to be a sturdy structure. So since its very nature has to be keva, you're not yoitze. Whereas on the flip side, if I make a nice little sukkah, does that have to be keva? No, I can make it out of straw. It can be a very temporary thing. So if I go and I make a permanent, it's not going to mess it up. For example, this room inside, I don't know how keva this room should be. The floor is the shtickle, you know what I'm saying? But David, perfect timing. But this room is ostensibly a garage, so it's keva at some nature. So it doesn't have to be keva. No, you could build a room like this temporary. But if I build a skyscraper, could I build a temporary skyscraper? Impossible. So therefore, it has to be permanent. Shiners, yeah, I don't know what's going on. was there today for the first time in a long time. Wow. Is there a reason why the new building looks like a barn? Is that like a shtick?
Yeah, it's a shtick.
It's a shtick.
He's very into the barn.
He's into animals? They're going to be like horses?
No, he's into the barn.
It's Ukraine. It's supposed to be like Ukraine. You talk about
Ukraine raises animals?
No, you're talking about Shiners?
You're talking about Shiners, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Ukraine.
Like
Uman, nostalgic.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen,
That's the...
I was waiting for the moves. I couldn't figure it out. Anyways. Ugh, weiß nicht was. I don't know what's going on there. I went for Kriyas Atayra and whatever. Yeah. Weiter. Amarle. Good. So again, what's the teretz? Teretz is under 20, you could make it temporary. Above 20, you can't make it temporary. So if under 20, you make it permanent, that's not going to mess you up. Which, by the way, you hope that we believe in this answer. As someone last night said, all of our sukkahs are keva. I don't care if it's even a canvas sukkah or a wood sukkah, whatever you make, we make them very strong. We don't need to, but that's just what we do. Just what we do.
Even in outright, right? We know there's a problem that the walls can't move.
That's walls can't move. That's true.
Once the walls can't move, you're
True.
already not in outright.
So you're bringing up a little bit of an interesting point, but that really, so if you think about what you just said, that's really Abaya's answer, is that Arai and Keva are not in how strong it is. Arai and Keva is how strong it needs to be. Something under 20 does not need to be strong. You're right, it can't blow.
It's not inherently.
Inherently. Exactly. Very good. Okay. So, I'm sorry, Rabbi Cooper, say it again. I couldn't hear you.
What does the last line say? Keep up with like
Good. Let's read it again. It's a little hard reading. Let's read the whole thing again. One more time. Amr Lay.
No.
Not the reading. What's your question?
No. It says keep up with like We're talking about when you make a mile and master.
Right.
What does that mean? That means you could.
Oh, very good. That means technically you could. Very good. Meaning it's like it's a shik alumnus if you think about it. Above 20, it needs to be keva. Now you want to go and you want to be strange and you want to build a house out of straw that's going to fall after a week. You could do it. It just that's not normal. Meaning the norm is something above 20 is keva, something below 20 is not keva. Theoretically, you could do what you want. That's the Gemara starts. But you should know, Rabbi Cooper, you are bringing up a good point, and these lines happens to be you learn. The Mir learns this first seder. I learned this by Rav Asher first seder. I'm going to read it again. Menachem. I'm going to read it again. But you bring out a good point, and the exactly how to say over the fine nuance of what is this keva anat is a good point. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying the terrace got to be like the boy.
Yeah. Okay. We'll work at something deeper. Let's read it again. Amar lei hachi kamin alcha. This is what I mean to say. 4 lines from the bottom. Ad chof amo until 20 amois. That you're able to make something temporary. When you make it permanent, nami nafik, you're also yaitse, nafik, you're yaitse. Above 20 amois, that the way that you do it is in a keva, is in a permanent manner. When you make it temporary, nami loy nafak, you're not going to be yaitse. Let's just because Eilim is really thinking over here. Let's look at the bottom 2 Rashis. They'll just give a little bit more depth. It's not going to fully answer your question, Rabbi Cooper, but just a little bit more. Lamala me'asrim, says Rashi. Rashi's 4 lines to the bottom. Sorich lasais yisoy doiseha. When it's above 20, you need to make its foundation. Umechitzoiseha. And its walls, kivuin, strong. Keva, not strong. Set. Shalotibel, so it doesn't fall. So therefore, until 20 shaper dami. Divadai yeshu bichlal keva arai. You could see in the words of Rashi that there's something going on here. Certainly, within keva there is arai. V'harei asa kitayra. And you made it the way the Torah says. Valkar, meaning, you made an iron sukkah under 20. So bivadai there is in keva arai because it's under 20, and you did it like the rules. Valkarchach, and therefore you were forced to say, listen to how Rashi is explaining, Lo yikmida Torah al harai. The Torah didn't mean it has to be a rai, meaning that it can't be out of iron, that it can't be something strong. Ela l'shem sheer. The arai is telling us the dimensions. The arai is telling us the qualification of size. Losis chashir, to give us the size, b'goiva, and the height. That it could stand this arai. Right, Cooper, it makes you a little bit happier or not much?
What's the machlekes then, Reb Shimon, if you make the sukkah has to be diras keva, diras arai, or that's nothing to.
No, it is, of course, because Rav Yehuda and our Mishnah holds it's kashel l'mal mesim, of course.
So even
Yeah.
saying that the Torah is saying that.
Yeah, no, so they're learning, they argue on the Joshua in a Chachamim. Yeah, let's remind ourselves, Chavra. This is all in the Chachamim. It's all in the Chachamim. Avad, according to Rav Yehuda, we also know Rav Shimon, they hold it could be keva. And they hold, you could build it. What do they do with the psukim? Okay, good kasha. We turn over the Amid and says the Gemara, we had three truthim. We had Rabba, we had Rav Zera, and we had Rava. No, I said that wrong. I was right. We had Rabba, we had Rav Zera, and we had Rava. So says the Gemara. Why does Rabba not hold like Rav Zera, not hold like Rava? We have three shitas, we have to figure out what's going on here. Says the Gemara on the top of Beis and Beis. Kulu, just by the way, I'm just going to tell you what I do. I've gotten yelled at for this, but it makes life easier. I personally underline the names in the Gemara because you look back probably 4,000 times to see the three names. And I zone in on them. And I have Rabba, Rav Zera, and Rava. Now, okay, I have gotten yelled at by overzealous Rabbeim asking me, well, you underline the Gemara, why don't you underline the whole thing? Isn't it all chashiv? What should I tell you? I'm a human being and I like to see them. I'm just giving away my personal issues. Kulu karabu, it's good for therapy. Kulu karabu lo amri. They all don't know like Rabba. What did Rabba say? Rabba said that more than 20 your eye does not see, says the Gemara. Why? Because that pasuk, what was Rabba's pasuk? Rabba's pasuk was Laman Yedu Dayraseichem Ki Basukas Hashaftis B'nei Yisrael. And you see how many times we went back and forth. This was after they bound it, we destroyed it. Kulu Kuravu Lo Yamri, because that pasuk Yedil Dayrasi. When that pasuk of Laman Yedu Dayraseichem for future generations should know Ki Basukas Hashaftis B'nei Yisrael. That pasuk is not talking about what we need to do every year. That's talking about L'Dayrais for eternity. Number one. Ki Rav Zera nami lo yamri. Why don't we say like Rav Zera? Why? Because Rav Zera said, what was the pasuk? V'sukatil itself. So all those who know Nach and know Yeshaya understand this, because that pasuk is again not talking. What's that pasuk talking about? L'imosa Mashiach hu dechsev. The pasuk is talking about the times of Mashiach. Rav Zera. So how does Rav Zera answer? He says this is the source. What about Yemos Mashiach? Says Rav Zera, Im kein lema krav v'chuppah tiel etzel yoimam. The pasuk could have just said, and the covering should be for the shade during the day. My v'sukkah. What does it mean on the sukkah? Why do you use the word v'sukkah, says Rav Zera, tiel etzel yoimam? Shemas mina tarti. From here we see two things. We're going to stop over here, but let's just see one important Rashi. Rashi of Ahu. Rashi Ahu. This is going in the top line. Why don't we hold of Rabbah of Laman Yedu? Says Rashi, Ahu lav biyadiya di yeshivas sukkah ka'amar. The pasuk of Laman Yedu Dayraseichem is not talking about sitting in the sukkah. Ela biyadiya is Dayrais haba'in, to teach the future generations Hekiv sukkahis anani akavoid hanasel avos. It's just telling us the story. It's just telling us the story in the Chumash. That's a pasuk in Vayikra. It's telling us that when Klal Yisrael traveled, I think we just had that. Just Vayikra Chav Gimel. When was that? Was that last week? This week? Vayikra Chav Gimel. No, it was a few weeks ago. We're already by Midbar. We're by Midbar already. Yeah, it's a few weeks ago. Vayikra Chav Gimel, end of Vayikra. But it's just telling us the story that they traveled surrounded by sukkahs, but it's not teaching us the din in sukkah. That teaches the din in Sukkah. The truth is we're going to go a job further because we don't have a minyan, which means we're going to have to wait an extra minute. So let's just go a job further. Kirava nami lo yamri. Why don't they hold of Rava? Rava was the third teretz. Rava was the Sukkah station Shivas Yamim, that under 20 is Arai. Oh, Rashashi. Kirava lo yamri. Why? Mishum Kusha Dabaya. Because Dabaya is Kasha, the iron Sukkah. Kima, period. So that's why each shita doesn't hold of each other, and that's the three shitas. Now the Gemara is going to proceed and quote different memras of Rav and figure out who they go with. We'll just do one. Kiman azahada amar Rav Yishai amar Rav. Whom does the following go like? We have three opinions. This is multiple choice. We have Rabba, we have Zera, and Rava. We're going to quote a din of Rav. We're going to see which one it fits with. Machlaikis, Rav taught us the machlaikis. What machlaikis? Machlaikis in our Mishnah. What's machlaikis in our Mishnah? Rabbanan and Rav Yehuda. Whether a sukkah is allowed to be higher than 20. Machlaikis b'she'ein, someone I think mentioned this other day, b'she'ein defanois magiyos l'schach. The whole machlaikis is only when the walls do not reach the schach. The machlaikis of a sukkah being above 20 is only if the walls do not reach the schach. However, aval defanois magiyos l'schach, afilu lemala me'esrim amok sheira. 100-foot sukkah is kosher. Why? Because the walls reach the schach. Whose opinion does that go like? No. Why? Why? What was the thing of the reasons? We have three reasons. One reason is that you have to be in this. What? So why would that make a difference if it reaches the top? Either way, if it's very tall, you're still in your cell defanis. It doesn't help you. So it can't be that. It can't be very good. That was. You see how terrible I am with this. That was Rav Zera. It's not Rav Zera. So we have Rabba or Rava left. Who is it? Rabba. Why? Why? Rabba says, what's the reason? That above 20, lo yishalta ba'ena, your eye doesn't see. So what?
What's the question?
The Gemara just quoted a memra of Rav. And Rav said that if the walls of the sukkah don't reach the roof, that's when the Rabbanan and Rav Yehuda argue. But if the walls reach the roof, it's allowed to be as tall as you want. Who does that go with? Rabba. Why does that go with Rabba? Because Rabba is good, but if the walls reach the top, then what? Go. This two. I want to see what it. Why is it Shalabeina? Good, very good, right, Cooper. Why is it Shalabeina? There's two reasons potentially.
Can you see it going up?
What do you mean you see going up?
You see the wall going up.
What you mean to say is that your eye follows the wall up, right? That's what you're saying? So that's how Rashi learns. That's how Rashi learns. And I think that's the way our normal Svara would say, is that your eye follows the wall up. There is another way that the Rishonim explain that that when it's a little nuanced. When the walls reach the schach, you feel more enclosed, even if it's above 20. So according to Rab, let's not get confusing. It's answering a kasha. Let's leave that. The Gemara answer is very good. The answer is according to Rabba, Sholta Ba'ina is even if it goes all the way up, because your eyes follow it up. We have 9. Beautiful. So let's do Chazara until the 10th man.